let's go fishing. You know it's really great, let's go fishing. In the rivers and on the lakes, let's go fishing. It's easy when you try, floating on the water with good old Steve and Mike. Floating on the water with good old Steve and Mike.
Hey, good evening, folks, and welcome to the Let's Go Fishing Show. And Mike, I really do like that intro song. I tell you what,
yes, sir.
Gerald, Gary done a heck of a job there, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Sure did. He done good. Hey, just like I said, welcome to the show tonight, folks, and we've got a little bit of fish catching and a whole lot of uh-ohs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I missed. I missed.
He got off.
He got off. So, which them uh-ohs don't do us any good. But anyway, Mike's my guest tonight. I want to say hello to Dad, to Bill, Mike Pennington, Charlie Irwin, all you fine folks that's watching the show and that we very seldom hear a lot from.
Jeff Parrott and all that bunch
Jeff
of
Parrott,
boys.
And Mr. Graham that made the board for the display and this, that, and the other. And then Mike's got a few baits here. We're going to try to get them out there to you, show you there, which we did take a few close-ups on the camera of what we were fishing with and that kind of thing. Now, we did... I couldn't track Bill down, and he's watching. I couldn't track him down all through the week. Well, dadgummit, he jumped out to Dale Holler, him and Paul Harrison, to walleye fish, and didn't do much. I just talking to him all the way over here a few minutes ago, and he said Saturday night that it got so bad. He said there was so much lightning, we was afraid we was going to get struck by lightning, so we put all the rods in the rod locker box, he said, just to be safe.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I can understand that. So anyway, I called Max Meredith there, and he answered the phone. It may have been Saturday afternoon on my way in from work. And I called Max's number, and I couldn't get a hold of Paul. I couldn't get a hold of Bill at his house, so I called Max. I said, hey, are you at home or Dale Holler? He said, I'm out here on the holler. I said, well, where in the world is Bill? And he said, him and Paul is up at the camper and said they're going to walleye fish. I said, well, okay, all right. And he said he was had been out a time or two bass fishing, but he was going to come home. He said, I'm going back out tonight, and which was Saturday night. And he said, if I don't do any good, I'm coming back home. And he said, it's just not right out here right now. So anyway, long story short, we went to North Saturday night, and Wesley had one of his friends with him, and the three of us went. And Mike came up. He was by himself, and anyway, we went out there and fished. But we could see Bill and Paul was on the lake Saturday night there when we were on North, and we were right in the middle of everything. Mm-hmm. Clinton got washed away while we were up there fishing. I say that, but I mean literally the water was running down the street there on the lower end of Clinton coming home. And then above us and to the west of us, we could see the lightning back to the west. And so that was what Bill and Paul was into. Mm-hmm. And so, we kind of dodged it. We just kind of set things out. The moon came in and out, clouded up. this every now and then you get a little glimpse of it, and then another cloud would float in front of it, and nothing never did settle down for us. But we didn't get wet, and so about 2 o'clock we put the boat on the trailer, and that's when we headed home and ran into didn't get any rain on the way home, but it had come a dandy rainstorm at Clinton and at Oliver Springs. I mean, the roads was full of water and this, that, and the other. But anyway, we caught a few fish. We had 10 in my boat, and I don't know, Mike had 3 or 4. He caught how many?
4 or 5.
4 or 5, yeah. But we missed a few, but not like we'd been doing. I mean, shucks, we had a hard time getting bites, but we did miss a few fish, but it wasn't like the 40 bites that we'd been used to, and that kind of thing. So anyway, we're going to get on with the program, and glad Bill is home, and we may get to make a trip tomorrow night or a little while Saturday night. We'll see what goes on with this weather. Hopefully they'll bite a little better, and that kind of thing. It's that moonlight, and Max and I were talking when I was talking to him there Saturday evening about the watercolor in Dale Hollow versus the watercolor at Norris, and he said, I think Norris is quite a bit clearer than Dale Hollow, and I said, well, yeah. I said, I won't argue that. I think that's true. But you have to consider you've got a lot of milfoil in Dale Hollow.
You do?
When it gets those pea gravelly bottoms, rich soil, and you get that sunshine, that grass out there, heck, it's 10, 15 foot deep.
Yes, sir.
You run around the 15 foot of water, and the grass is on top of the water. So, right at the water level. So there's a lot of, when it gets a good growing season out there's a lot of grass on Dale Hollow.
Sure.
And so I think that, probably colors, when you're looking down at that, at the grass and it's under the boat, it looks like it's darker.
Yeah.
And if that grass wasn't there, it might not look as dark.
That's right.
So, but that's what we were comparing it with. But Norris is quite a bit clearer, than Dale Hollow, I think.
It is.
So, let's see who we got here, Mike. Yeah, hello, caller.
Hey, Steve, Mike.
Hey, Tony. How's it going?
It's going good. Stayed up last week.
You stayed up.
I took tough fishing last week.
Oh, tough fishing. Yeah, I got your picture here, and I don't know if I sent it over here or not. I got last week's picture with them 19, but now this week's the picture you made last Saturday, it was only 4 fish, wasn't it?
4 crappie and 1 shell cracker.
Yeah, 4 crappie and a shell cracker. I don't know what's wrong with my phone. Let me pull this up right here and see what's up here. See why we didn't get that thing sent in. But Tony, tell us what, you went, shucks, you had 19 or more there the week before, and then last week you just had the 4 crappie and the shell cracker. What do you think was going on?
Moving the water all day.
Moving the water all day. Okay.
Moving fast too.
Huh.
They got to empty out all that flood water they had up there in Douglas, and
So I couldn't catch nothing. That's what I think it was.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, Douglas got flooded out up there at French Broad and all that did, and I think they got a lot coming down that Holston out of Cherokee too. So, yeah, they had to pass it through Loudon and through Watchbar to send it on down. So.
It was moving all day, not counting the wind blowing.
Well, but it, you had such a great trip the week before.
Well,
And
I thought we were going to have that kind of trip last week, but it didn't happen that way. I got there and seen that water moving. I knew what was going to happen.
Well,
Phil Williams there on the radio, he lives up there on Douglas Lake, and he said it had done come up 2 foot, and said they expected it to come up another 3 or 4 foot there that day. So that'd been 5 foot in one day from all that rain they had up that way. Coming out of North Carolina mostly.
yeah. Chandler, I got that picture coming to you. If you get a minute while we got Tony on there, we can show it. I mean, you had 2. I mean, there's nothing wrong with all 4 of them fish. I'd like to have a whole gang of them shell crackers.
Yeah, first time I ever caught one that big down there.
Huh?
First time I ever caught one that big on one spot.
Yeah, they some dandies down there. You just got to find them. You know what I'm saying? And they are good eating. There ain't no doubt about that. They're just
Just as good as a walleye.
Yeah, they're just a little cross between a dang crappie and a dang bluegill.
Well, they're in the walleye family.
Yeah, huh?
I said, I pointed out how big that crappie was.
Yeah, yeah. I don't doubt that a bit, man.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, they're in the perch family.
they're in the perch family, and them guys catch a lot of them, and they hunt them. They get down there and blow watch bar down, and shucks, you have to draw a number to get in there at the blowhole and fish for them. But anyway, that's you know, them was 4 pretty nice fish. I mean, I'd take them any day, and I'd probably eat all 8 pieces, but I'd love to have them. Sure. But they's pulling the water pretty hard there last Saturday.
Sunday. Yeah.
Or on Sunday when you went? Okay.
Yeah, it was moving all day.
Yeah. Well, like Mike said, as much rainfall as we've had, I don't see how they could not keep from pulling it real hard. Getting rid of some of this water. Norse came up a couple of feet.
Yeah.
Anyway, for sure. And but you know, all the lakes are on the rise. I'm just waiting for them to draw them on down, consolidate the fishing a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah, heck yeah. That's Mike said he wished we was having to put in on that winter ramp up there right now.
It would be nice.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, I guess you going to work early in the morning.
all right, well, I'll talk to you later.
All right, Tony, good to hear from you, and we'll be looking. Maybe you can get back on them this weekend.
I can't this weekend. I'm fixing to have surgery this week. I'm going to be out of work for a week.
Oh, heck. Well, I hate to hear that. I really do. I hope everything goes good.
It will.
All right.
All right, talk to you later.
All right, Tony. Good to hear from you, buddy. All right, see you, man. All right. Tony told me there a few weeks back, he said, I had to be at work. I said, Dad, blame early. He said, I had to call in early on the show so I can get into bed.
Mm-hmm.
So he done good. We'll show that picture right here in just a minute whenever Chandler gets through with what we're doing out here. We'll run that picture up there and show those 4 fish that he had. All righty. Let's take a little.
Yeah. Did you say something about a big largemouth too?
Yeah. I got that picture of that largemouth that Troy Duncan called up on Norris week before last. Mm-hmm. And we didn't show it last week on the show, and we showed all them crappie Tony had, and I'd forgot all about the largemouth. Have you got that largemouth picture, Chandler? All right, put that up on the screen. There it is. Troy Duncan, the guy we work with, caught that largemouth on Norris. And what I was really looking at on that fish right there, Mike, look how bloody its tail is.
Yeah.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
And I meant to ask Troy about that, and I forgot to, but that fish right there just spawned out.
You wonder where he was fishing at.
He was up in Cove Creek there.
Up in Cove Creek,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
Yeah, that's the closest ramp for him to put in. He drops off the interstate there at Caraville and takes a left and goes up there and puts in there at the back of Cold Creek. And but yeah, I got to look. I said, that daggum fish right there hadn't been long since it laid eggs.
No.
And that's a big old fish.
Yes, belly's empty, ain't it?
Yes, sir. Sure is. Without a doubt. All righty. Thank you, Chandler. Okay, caught that on top water.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, when you take a fish that's in there 6 or 8 foot of water, ain't nothing no better than the top water plug. Or 4 foot, 3 foot, heck, they just put that there in that clear water. But that fish, I'm just looking at his tail, I think it just spawned out.
Well,
It's real quick, just recently.
there's a lot of water comes out of Cold Lake there, and there's a lot of springs and stuff feed in that creek up there too, so that water may not be that warm up there.
Well, probably not, but it's like I said, I don't think all the fish spawn at the same time.
No,
I think, as it warms up, you got your early spawners, and then as it warms up, you got the fish that hangs out a lot deeper. The water temperature warms, and that triggers their spawn activity, and so they don't all spawn the same week. They, in my opinion,
it's flat and the water spreads out, and and the sun gets to it more than what it is up there in them long hollers and creeks like that, where mountains stick up so high. They may not get no more than 4 or 5 hours of direct sunlight during the day.
I agree. Yeah, that's fine.
So it takes a lot longer to warm up.
Yeah, sure does. It sure does. Okay, Ed Galt, you can call any time and let us know how you done. Because you was supposed to be tearing them up, Mike said. So we're looking forward to hearing from you. Charlie, you can call and let us know what's going on up on your end. And we'll move it right along. Chandler, let's take a little sponsor break there and come back, will you? All right, man. Hey, folks, here at Tim's Tires, there's the times that they're open. The day, that's 5 days a week. They're open from 8 to 12:30 on Saturdays. All right, folks, we're inside here in the warehouse. Just wanted to give you a quick look at all the tires and stuff they got. And here we are. There's some four-wheeler tires, lawnmower tires, just a mixture of about any kind of tire you want. So keep that in mind. Then here we get into the light truck, automobiles, that kind of thing. So just walk through here and give you a quick look at what they've got in stock here. I mean, it's it's just, I don't know, man. They must be a couple of thousand tires in here right now, if not more. Sizes, shapes. You truckers, you know the word. This is the place to get your tires for your trucks. And these over here, getting a little bigger sizes, light trucks, heavier automobiles, this kind of thing. And as you can just see back through there, it's just, heck, I don't know, this building's probably about 300 feet, one end to the other, and they're wall to wall. Remember Tim's Tires, folks. That's down here on Highway 27 on your way into Harriman, and get the best deals they're going. So give them a call, price check, whatever you want to, and if you want a special tire that they might not have, you could. They'll definitely get it for you. Tim's Tires. All righty, we're back. Chandler, let's see that other fish you said you had a picture of. Yeah, there they are, the crappies that Tony caught last week. They're not bad, Mike.
No, shoot, no.
I mean, them right there, yeah, that's pretty good little bite right there. I could eat off 2, 4, 6, at least 6 of them little pieces right there, maybe 8. Yeah, they'd be good.
Yeah, they'd be good.
I reckon. Heck. All righty. Chandler, let's see some of the film there that Mike shot last week. Okay, you can do Mike's or mine, either one. There's only a couple of minutes on my camera.
All right, Jeff, sounds like you got a bite on that telephone there.
Already.
I'm up here on Friday night with Jeff, and you see the moon. It's a little more than 3/4. It's almost full. Will be Monday night, I think it is. But anyway, we're going to get out here. Beautiful night. Don't seem to be that big a crowd out here tonight, so at least they ain't running crazy like they normally are. So maybe we'll get on a few. We're going to get out here and find us a place and go to throwing on it. Remember the sponsors, and let's go fishing. There you go. Yeah. Get what you want, dang it. Don't need to do that when I touch that lip. Yeah, there you go, Bill Dang.
There you go.
Big smallmouth up here on North Lake.
Hang on.
Dang it. Jump off that. Oh yeah. That's a little better than that other one.
Yeah, boy.
Got some teeth on him. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's fat and stocky there. Real nice one. So you wanted to get a picture of him?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, boy. I turned it out the wrong way. All right, yeah. You got it nice in there.
Hey, but I caught him.
Yeah, buddy. That's what we're looking for. You can beat that. Going back, he'll get a little bigger next time.
That's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
You're pretty.
There you go. And folks, big largemouth. Big largemouth. Yeah. Caught him out there about 25. Something. Anyway, we'll throw him back and see if we can get another one. Okay, folks. Another good little smallie. Yeah, a good little smallie. We'll put him back and see if we can get him a few more. Folks, if you can see that big rascal right there. Boy, he's a nice one now. No doubt about that. He's about 20 inches long. Oh, he's mean. Good picture of him, I hope. I'll give him back to water. Before he bites my finger off. Right. That's the kind we're looking for. Okay, folks. If you can see that rascal there, there's a big smallie. And it's about 18 inches, but more he's a nice fat. That going is fat, yeah. All right, we'll put him back in the water. See if we can get another one. You can see that rascal there. That's a pretty good small mouth. About 16 inches. Good chunky little rascal. We'll put him back in the water. See if we can get another one. Okay, folks. 10 after 2. I guess we better head toward the trailer. Had a fairly decent night. Been awful cloudy. Ain't had much moon. It all come through every now and then. It gets dark and it gets light, but it changes back and forth. It's been a little tough, but we've had a few bites and caught a few good fish. So anyway, I've had a good time. Steve and them probably down on the trailer, so I'm gonna head that way myself. So anyway, remember the sponsors and let's go fishing.
All right, we're back. Okay, Mike, tell us a little bit about your trip, and then we'll do mine and Wesley's.
Like I say, when I went up Friday night there, it bright and clear, and started out there. I caught 2 on that green pumpkin with that little bit of blue in it. Then Jeff, he caught one. I think it was on the copper crawl. And it seemed like we struggled rest of the night there. We kept a tying baits and a trying this and trying that, and just couldn't seem to find anything solid that they'd hit. And I finally got down and got that little centipede out there, that red bug, and second throw I made with it, I got out there and I hit them rocks and bumped it up and down a time or two, and there's one grabbed it and about took the rod out of my hand. Set the hook on him, and I didn't get a hook in him. He got my centipede, and I got another one out there and fished it a few more throws, and I got to thinking, well, I'll try a jig. So I got down and got a red hair jig out and put a red trailer on it there, and first cast made with it, caught a good smallmouth on it. And we fished around there another 30 minutes, I guess, and I was on up about 3:30. I told Jeff, I said, well, I don't know about you, but I guess we ought to just go to the house. And got a lot to do tomorrow. And he said, yeah. I said, I'm ready anytime you are. So we went on to the house. Well, Friday night we got up there, and like I say, it was moon in and out and cloud cover. And I started out throwing a green pumpkin with the blue and tried the red, and I kept throwing around on stuff, and I finally got the watermelon out with red glitter.
Yeah.
And throwed it out there and caught one on it, and I think about 3 throws later I had another one on, and got him about halfway to the boat. He come off and made about 2 more throws and had another one on, and then he come off. And I went back, fished that place up and down a time or two again, never did get another strike on it. And I went up the lake there and fished 2 or 3 other places. Couldn't get a strike at all on that watermelon red. Seemed like when them clouds covered that moon up, couldn't get a strike on it at all. Then I got that copper crawl back out and had 1 or 2 on it, and they come off. And finally got up there on another point there and picked that watermelon red back up and made a few casts with it, caught a good smallmouth on it. It was a real nice one. He probably 20, 22 inches somewhere in there. And fished all the way up that point and come back around it again, caught another one, but I caught it on the copper crawl.
Yeah.
And that's when I called you up, and you said you was already down to Andersonville, and I said, well, might as well head on to the house before the rain gets us. And I figured it was going to come a good one.
Yeah.
So I went down and put it on the trailer, and like you, and then all that water coming down the road there.
Right, yeah, just the other side of Clinton there, out just as you start out of town there, man, it definitely come across through there, didn't you?
All the fish I caught both nights was around the 25, 30-foot range. You could go out away from some of them points where you're starting to get deeper out there, and you see the fish up there. And you go down about 30 foot and you wouldn't see nothing on that 30 foot out there suspended, you know, out in the middle of the lake. Maybe that was part of the problem, I don't know.
Right. Well, I mean, you know, we had, okay, Chandler, I'll tell you what, go ahead and show that little bit of film on my camera, and then we'll come back. Okay.
All right, folks, there's probably all the first fish of the night. We've missed 2 or 3, but first one to get in the boat, not a bad fish.
No, that's decent. West, we'd like to have some bigger ones, but he hit right here at the boat. We're going to get another.
Oh, yeah, all right.
All right, back to white, West.
All right, that's a little better fish,
Yeah.
a little healthier.
Yeah, next cast.
Next cast, all right.
All right, yeah.
Very healthy fish. Back in the water he goes. Get another. All right, folks, there's Hunter with his first fish. Not a bad one. All right, we'll get him back in the water and we'll get another. All right, there's Hunter with a little better fish on no copper crawl. There it is. All right, Hunter with his third fish. Another not a bad fish. In that pound and a half range. All right, there he is. Throwing back and getting nothing.
All right, there Wes is with a little fish, but they got to eat too, don't they, Wes?
Yeah, about time I got one.
About time you got one. All right, back in the water with him. Let's go get on it. All right, there's Hunter with another fish. How many does that make you've caught already, bud?
That's 4.
4? You're doing good. Back in the water with him, man. Good job.
All right, there's Papa with a decent fish. Come off in the net.
Yeah.
I've had a problem sticking them all night.
Yeah.
At least I have.
All right,
All
Wes.
right.
Boy, they've been tough to come by.
All right, there's Papa with a little fish. We're having a problem keeping them pinned. We've had a bunch of bites, just can't get them in the boat.
Yeah.
There he is.
Copper crawl.
Copper crawl. All right. Let's get another.
Going. There we go. I knew it'd be short and sweet, Mike. Wesley don't dilly-dally around with that camera. He turns it on, turns it off quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when he's behind.
Yeah, he wants to get his bait back in the
Yeah,
water.
yeah, that's a fact. But, you know, it was just a weird, just couldn't get on any real pattern. I mean, but we did miss a few fish, and well, you know, I'm gonna the deal's this right here. I've always, whenever the moon was out real bright, I like to fish the right-hand side from Andersonville Boat Dock to the back of Lost Creek. Everything over on the right-hand side of the lake, because I always felt like those rocky ledges, they were like a shadow in the water, and them son of a guns would lay right there in that shadow and ambush their prey. Well, I got out and I was fishing the wrong side of the lake. What little bit of moonlight we had, so that really wasn't. But when the moon was out bright, I tried to stay throwing into the moon pretty much at all times if I could. You know, when as higher up the moon got, the steeper the bank I'd get up.
Yeah.
Try to stay in the dark. So anyway, like I said, there Saturday night it was cloudy. The moon would pop out behind the cloud for just a minute or two, and then it'd cover back up. So it was really hard. And we fished several places over on the left side of the lake, going towards Lost Creek, just because it was a dark night. You know. And you know, trying to pull every little trick out in the book that we could and or could think of to get on some fish, but just never did. We had the 10. I had 4, Hunter had 4, and Wesley had 2. So that was what we got in the boat. Now we did miss some fish. We had some fish on that come unhooked, at least 10 or 12 more that we should have caught. But just didn't work out, and couldn't hold on to them. I mean, heck, they shaking their heads and everything. I mean, you know, they're doing everything they can to get loose, without a doubt.
Well, you just trade out and put a lot of different baits on, tried some different.
Yeah, them boys was changing baits pretty quite often. Me, I had 2 rod and reels I rigged up, and I never caught a fish on that green and blue that I'd caught them on the week before. Never caught a fish on it, and but the fish I caught was on that copper crawl.
Yeah.
So, and the bad thing about it was I kept thinking, man, I ought to have that copper crawl and orange on, and I never did stop long enough to tie it on. Wished I had it. Might have made a difference.
Might have made a difference. You know, we tried that army green. Jeff did. Tried the black and blues and black and reds, and you know, I was trying a lot of the different colors in the watermelon, the black and watermelon, the solid watermelon, and different colors like that. That I'd been trying, and It seemed like them fish, after we caught them 3 to start off with, they just couldn't find the fish at all. And then all of a sudden, we got in, found a few, and then couldn't hold on to them. Like I say, ended up catching that last one on that red stuff there. I said, "Rick, I should have probably been throwing that all night."
Right.
In that bright moonlight. And stuff there. I even tried the Z-hogs and stuff in the solid blacks and different ones, watermelon and stuff like that. And couldn't get a strike on it. On the time I got that one, hold of that one was back on that red bug in that centipede.
Well, I like I said, we kind of, the only thing I haven't done is I want to sit down with my spinnerbait box and kind of do a little looking.
I've been throwing around on that spinnerbait.
I've had a lick on it.
Ain't had the first thing strike on it. I don't know what's going on with that. I tried several different colors in it.
I haven't thrown the first one yet. And I need to I want to get my spinnerbait box out and do a little looking. See if I can't pick me out one to catch a fish on and that kind of stuff. Hopefully we can get a chance to go tomorrow night. I don't know what the weather's supposed to be.
Slight chance of rain, I think. But the moon, I don't think it'll be up to around 12 o'clock.
Yeah, I figure it'd be about half full, about 12 o'clock. I ought to have a half a dozen more caught by that time of night and go from there.
Be a little more than a half, should be between half and 3/4.
Possibly, somewhere along there, but it's clear enough for the moon to come out. I'm good with it. All righty. Shucks. Mike Pennington, you need to call and give us a report because you were going to start night fishing with that braided line. I'd like to hear from you. And I'm looking, I got a guy that's needing to get in touch with Willie Word about some of this black lights in the along the gunnel of the boat, the bumper strip. Where we put
LED strip, yeah.
The LED strips. So if you know, I've lost Willie's phone number. When I lost my last telephone, I had to dropped it in the lake, or actually I fell in the lake with the phone in my pocket, and so maybe there's me a contact right there. Hello.
All right, here I am.
All right. How can I get in touch with Willie? I need to give this guy Willie's number, is what it is.
Willie?
Willie Word, have you got his phone number?
I do not have. I haven't seen Willie in a long time.
Yeah, well, I haven't either, and I did have his phone number, and I don't have it anymore when I had to swap phones, and they couldn't pull all the phones off of it because I broke that in that little hinge, and it was a flip phone, and broke that little wire in there, and that killed about 2/3 of my phone number. So, but anyway, have you been night fishing?
No, I haven't been able to get up there and get into that line yet, and in order to do it there. Is it the bait box down there in Spring City, I believe, where Willie hangs around a whole lot?
Yeah, it's right in that neighborhood because he lives right out from the bait box. Heck, what's that gentleman's name that owns that store there? Bud hangs out down there, and 3 or 4 more of them. I mean, the crew, they hang out down there at the bait box. They do.
If you could get that number, or I could for you, I'll try to. They get a hold of Willie down there, I'm sure.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that, and I can possibly do that too. I'm sure I can pull that up on my phone. I'll just do it now that you mentioned it, because I didn't think about the bait box until you just mentioned it. So that's a good thought, and I'm going to write that down.
Well, I want to know what size line and what power rods y'all are using.
Heck, I got, and you ain't going to believe this, but I mean, I got some of them old All-Star rods. It's a old brown-looking blank. That heck, they come from Bimbo Sports. You remember when that was over in Knoxville?
Remember it well.
Yeah. Well, anyway, and I've told this story many times, I know, about us rescuing the guy out of Fort Loudon over there, and him taking, wanting to pay us, and a month later, Baxter Underwood calls me and said, "Hey," he said, "you remember that guy we helped over there at Fort Loudon?" I said, "Yeah." He said he called me this morning and said, "I met him over there at Bimbo Sports, and or right out in the parking lot." And he said, when I got there, he had 3 of them Calcutta gold reels. And so Baxter called me, and he came down to my house, and he had 3 reels, and he kept one, gave me one for Mike. And well, heck, man, shoot, I rigged that thing up, put it on a rod, and I was in hog heaven. So I went straight on over to Bimbo Sports and bought 2 more. So, but yeah, and so I've got 5 of them. I wouldn't take nothing in the world for them. And listen, man, I don't know how old them reels are, but they're quite old. But they still fish just as good as the day I got them.
Well, they're Cadillac reels at that time.
Oh, they were. They ain't no 2 ways about it. And while I was over there, I bought 2 more of them All-Star rods. And I can't think the name of them, but they're shucks, or what power they are. But they're not extremely stiff by no means. I've got several more that are, but they just cast good and fish good. And heck, I've been fishing with them for years. So, and I'll just have to get it. But now I've got I've bought 2 or 3 heavy action rods over there at Edgemore, and heck, more than that, 5 or 6 of them. Wesley's got 4 of them. He claims them himself. But that's, usually a 6 foot. I like a 6 foot rod. I like a 6, 8 or 6 or 7 foot. That's basically about what I've got. A couple of 7, 8 or 8 foot flipping sticks. But for bait, for throwing a jig or throwing a spinner bait at night, 6, 6.5, 7 foot rod's plenty, as far as I'm concerned. What about it, Mike?
What about line size is you and Mike using?
I'm throwing 17 and 20. I think, 17 and 20, and I got one rod and reel rigged up with 14, just the monofilament, clear blue fluorescent, or that green line. I like that green line awful well. Mm-hmm. Sure do.
Well, that should stick them. That should stick them well, 17 or 20 pounds.
Yeah, buddy. It just, you don't have a whole lot of line stretch. But you'd think, that with that kind of setup, that you would never miss one. But them son of a guns will get off the best you can do.
Well, have you thought about going with the line that I was talking about and using a leader so you don't have much stretch?
Well, I like to tie straight onto the bait with that green. I think that green line, it just disappears in the water. So I don't worry about that. Same way with the fluorescent blue. I don't use a leader on it like a lot of people uses a clear leader. Now in the winter time, I think if you're throwing, Bill is real heavy on that braided line, and put about an 8 foot leader of that. What is it? We use that.
Fluorocarbon.
Fluorocarbon, yeah, about an 8 foot leader with that fluorocarbon, and he's throwing that green braided line out there at Dale Holler in the wintertime, and he's catching fish. So, you'd think that they going to see that daggum green line. I said, yeah. So he puts about an 8 foot leader on there, buddy, and just catches the fool out of it. So.
Well, that's what I'm going to do when I'm finally able to get up there and get that fluorescent in braid. I'm going to use that and about a 6 foot fluorocarbon, and that way you don't have much stretch at all when you set that hook.
Yeah, that's true, and that's why we grew up fishing those heavier rods with some pretty stiff action, some backbone in them, just for that. When one struck it, man, they wasn't no line loss or anything like that, or rod bending. It was just like a broom handle. and shoot, Mike, he wanted them 5.5 foot rods, and that you could, if you didn't catch him on it, you could whip him with it. So,
well, I heard you last week holler at me, and about that time a phone call come in, so
yeah.
I heard you there a while ago, so I just want to say hi and jaw a little bit with you.
Well, man, I'm glad you did, but I'm going to tell you what, like I said, back years ago, my pappy-in-law had a lake house down there at the Edens. Edens, yeah, right there in that cove there at Edens. And shoot, we'd spent the summer down there for 2 or 3 years, and pretty much, I mean, when I wasn't happening to be at work on Saturday, while we was headed down to the lake house and that he had, and they'd go out on the pontoon, and I'd have the bass boat, and I'd tie it onto the pontoon, and we'd go up there, and I'd get them set up. Then I'd crawl off in the boat and go bass fishing, and they'd sit there catching them old stripe and some few crappie and anything that bit. They just had a ball, and I'd be out there bass fishing. And what I found out down there back in the day there, it seemed like after July the 4th. And that weekend, especially if the moon was full right in that neighborhood, golly bum, man, it wasn't. I mean, I was throwing a little old brown peanut jig or a spinner bait, and a brown spinner bait with a little bit of orange on it or something, and I just caught fish. I just bang, and Mike, I'd call him, say, come on down here. I said, they're biting good, and we'd go down towards Sam's, and the milfoil would be up at that time. The milfoil was growing in places, and we was throwing plastic worms and jigs and spinner baits. But after July the 4th, that come August full moon, they was a lot tougher to get. So don't ask me why, how come, don't have a clue. But it just seemed like you'd turn the light switch off. And
well, all the lakes just got so much pressure on them anymore. It's changed drastic and everything.
Hey, I agree with that. It's heck, man, it's unreal. A lot of pressure and a lot more people fishing. They done back years ago when we first started the show here. Talking to TWRA, and they figured here in the state of Tennessee that about every third person there had a boat, of some kind. Well, now it's about every 8 people out of 10's got one, so of some kind. So it's a lot more boats and a lot more fishermen on the water and that kind of thing. I don't know, it's pressure. There's no doubt about it. Hard to get.
Well, y'all have a good evening. Good luck on the North for the next 2 nights, and be safe there.
All right, Mike. Good to hear from you, buddy, and I appreciate it, man.
All right, see you.
See you, buddy. But that, the pressure on the lake is a big thing, and I mean, Mike, we just keep on catching them.
Yeah. It won't be long. Everybody will be Friday night ball game with the kids, and Saturday night college ball games, and deer scouting and all that stuff. And they'll start packing up their stuff, especially after Labor Day. They'll be packing up their stuff and staying home. And
I love it. That fall of the year, shoot, buddy. I love it. Yeah, we'd be up there on North, and Tennessee's playing football, and there's not a soul on the water but us. Mm-hmm. And look out, man.
Yeah.
It's we're out on top of the smallmouth. That's the dang truth. But that's the way it is. I mean, but the fish are getting a lot of pressure. Mm-hmm. No doubt about it. And there's a lot of, like I said, a lot more boats on the water this day and time, and And but hey, it's whatever makes everything work, I guess.
That's right.
But I mean, we have seen some times. Mike and I and Brad Lockett. I had Brad and Mike with me one night. We put the boat in there at Point 19, and the water was down quite a bit. There's several of them rock islands showing up there. We ran over into Big Ridge Holler there and hadn't been fishing, shucks, 30 minutes maybe, and had done caught 2 or 3 fish. And we saw this boat over there put in at Point 19, and he cranked up and he took off up the lake up through there, and one of them rock humps right above Pilot Island was I mean, just heck, 6 inches of water over it. And next thing we heard was bam, 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 and that was the motor shut off, and we could hear him up there beating and banging on something. But I mean, just all kinds of stuff over the years that we've seen and heard, and had Shuri up there one night, and they had a Tennessee ball game, and we were in Big Ridge Holler, and this guy, I know he thought he was making that right-hand turn towards Hickory Star. No, he wasn't. Next thing you know, bam, 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 motor died, and he was hollering, help me, and hey, buddy, can you help me? Well, there's as you go into Big Ridge Holler, there is a hump on the left that's, when the water goes down, it's sticking up out of the water. Mm-hmm. And it's rock and mud. Well, he made the wrong turn thinking he was headed towards Hickory Star and run around on the bank. And my wife said, I said, let me go over and see what's going on. No, she's kept it. No, said, you don't know. And I said, well, I know. So why I idled over there. He was out in the front of the boat trying to push it back off. Mm-hmm. And he said, hey, said, can you help me? I said, well, I don't know. I said, I'd have to pull you from the back. And I said, I don't have a rope with me. He said, I got a rope. And so he threw me the rope. I pulled up there with my trolling motor, and he threw me the rope. I turned the boat around, tied it onto the back eye back there at the corner of the boat, and he tied it onto his boat, and he went up there and started pushing it, and I gave it a little gas there, and I got him back in the water and pulled him out there, and he climbed up in the boat. He said, man, I really do appreciate it. Thank you a lot. And I said, okay. And so I untied his rope, and he pulled it in, he cranked up and took off.
Oh, we've run into some dandies.
We've run into some dandies.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just got lost to where he was at and thought he'd make that right-hand turn. Everybody goes up through there, follows that right-hand bank, makes that turn up there to Hickory Star, and kind of deal like that. Anyway, we've jabbered long enough.
Yeah,
I hope we get to go fishing, Mike.
About out of time, and want to tell everybody all of our thoughts and prayers is for those servicemen that got killed over there and their families and everything, and we sure praying for them.
Good thought, Mike. Exactly right. I didn't know anything was all that went on until I got home this afternoon, but we do feel the same way. God bless you all. Be safe. Be careful around the water. Keep your life jacket on, and we'll see you next week. Let people know what we represent.
That's what we're all about. We do try to do an honest day's work for the people, and we've got operators from all over the DOE sites, TVA sites, the outside contractors. We're just about everywhere you see a heavy piece of equipment, good chance that you'll see an operating engineer on it, rather it be Barnhard. I'd like to mention them, All Crane, and all of them that's signatory to us. We have over 100 contractors that's signatory to us, so I definitely appreciate those guys all the way in Chattanooga, Kingsport, Tullahoma, throughout all the way up to Johnson City. So We do cover a big area, and just let us know if we can be any help to the local contractors that come through these areas. We'll definitely send you some people.